Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Today we will talk about inside Qatar's $45 billion city. Before we get started with the video, don't forget to smash the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. Qatar's Lusail. The World Cup final was held on Sunday in a massive golden basket of a stadium in the midst of Lusail, a futuristic $45 billion metropolis. It is located 12 miles north of Doha and has skyscrapers, a university, wide-open boulevards, and a marina for luxury yachts, all lighted up like a petrified Las Vegas. 20 years ago, the whole city was nothing more than a sand mound. There was nothing there. It was basically a dirt road, said Brian Jennett, an urban designer and architect who was involved in the city's early plans. Not everyone is certain that a project like this will happen while you're drawing it. 1 in 10, 1 in 20, and 1 in 100 of these things might occur. Qatar became certain that it was Lusail who did it. Lusail was originally envisaged as a tourism center as part of the Small Emirates Vision 2030 initiative, which aimed to diversify the economy and position it as a worldwide player. When Qatar was awarded the World Cup hosting rights in 2010, the late addition of an 89,000-seat stadium gave the fresh new city a brand new purpose. Lusail now stands as a symbol of Qatar's brazen ambition, fast modernization, and unrestrained extravagance as it hosts the world's most-watched sporting event on Sunday. Basically, we were developing a city from scratch, said Abdulrahman Al-Ishaq, master planning manager of Lusail City. Lusail also provides a basis for what Qatar may explore next, given that it has successfully organized a working World Cup despite years of continuous opposition over its attitudes toward women, the LGBT community, and migrant labor. Despite a few hiccups in the first week, such as security breaches involving supporters waving rainbow flags and a sudden decision to restrict the sale of liquor in and around stadiums 2 days before the first game, the tournament has gone very smoothly. Qatar was able to build a city from scratch in the middle of the desert in just 15 years, so it's not surprising that it was able to host a 64-game soccer tournament with few problems. A new transit system worked as expected, and Qatar appeared to handle the enormous flood of foreign tourists who came and went as their teams climbed and fell. Thank you to everyone involved, Qatar, and all the volunteers for making this the finest World Cup ever, FIFA President Gianni Infantino said on Friday, 4 years after declaring Russia 2018 to be the best World Cup ever. Qatar's plans for Lusail do not end there. There are currently plans in the works to bring in more high-profile athletic events. The city will host knockout rounds of the AFC Champions League and a Formula One Grand Prix next season, as Qatar prepares to host the 2023 Asian Cup and is thought to be considering a bid for the 2036 Summer Olympics. Being one of the world's fastest modernizing countries, led by a royal family with unlimited control and limitless riches, Qatar is able to create projects on a scale that few others can imagine or hope to achieve. But all of that affluence comes with a certain level of ridiculousness. Qatar has built luxury flourishes everywhere you turn in Lusail just because it can. One pair of towers, which houses a luxury hotel, appears to be a massive pair of horns, while the official explanation is that they are a pair of scimitar blades. The billion-dollar mall, intended to look like Paris, includes its own canal system and hourly laser light displays. A 98-foot whale shark sculpture hangs over Lusail Boulevard. People who went to the World Cup might have seen Lusail's bright lights and wondered why the city was so big. Lusail said, "Why not?" Qatar's requirements even surprised the city's original planners. While initiatives like Lusail may appear to be science fiction, Qatar isn't the only Gulf country in the business of creating future towns out of thin air. Saudi Arabia, commanded by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, has begun construction on Neom, a $500 billion megacity project on the Red Sea. "You labor in a domain of fantasy and inventive thoughts," Jennett added. "That's when you wonder, are we right? Or are we so confined by our own experience that we can't conceive the degree of ambition, the quantity of money, or the chip on their shoulder that they could have about being invisible to most of the rest of the world?" One thing Lusail isn't as invisible. The city comprises 15 square miles and is planned to house 250,000 citizens in dazzling new high-rises, many of which are currently under construction. It is bound to the east by the sea and to the west by the Al Khor Freeway. In a country where most people spend their time driving from place to place, Lusail's planners envisioned 2 radical new features: a work-and-tram system and wide pedestrian walkways highlighted by the mile-long Lusail Boulevard, which is modeled after the Champs Elysees and boasts more than 50 food outlets. It cost almost $350 million. The cost was essentially insignificant for Qatar, which possesses the world's third-largest known natural gas reserves, trailing only Saudi Arabia and the United States. But the human cost became the most visible blemish on the entire endeavor. Human rights groups claim that hundreds of thousands of migrant laborers, largely from South Asia, perished while working on World Cup-related construction projects in Qatar. According to Qatar, 37 people were killed. This is a huge human achievement, whether it should be appreciated or not, Jennett said. This could not have been done 30 years ago. Yet technology and globalization have matured to the point where it is now achievable. The technical feat alone is comparable to the space race. Lusail was never meant to be used for events like the Olympics, which Qatar may want to host in the future. Yet Qatar has often demonstrated that it is not hesitant to make big and costly adjustments on the fly. The stadium that will host the World Cup final on Sunday was not in the city's plans 15 years ago. Nothing is ever entirely blank, but this was a little more of a blank canvas than usual, Jennett explained. This is certainly not how cities are generally developed. That's a wrap on the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, let me know by giving it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.